Hello, my name is Julie Osteen, and I am an art teacher currently working for Stanley County Schools. I'm from the small town of Albemarle, which is located 45 minutes outside of Charlotte, depending on who's driving. I graduated from high school at Albemarle High School in 2007. And at Albemarle, you have two choices. You can either go higher education or you can go directly to work. I pursued my secondary education upon the influences that I gathered from my kindergarten through high school years. I have had a perfect education. I've had wonderful supporting teachers all through school. And when I was in elementary school, those teachers kept saying, "You're going to be a great teacher one day." And I was like, "No, I'm not. I'm going to be an astronaut, or I'm going to be a doctor." But in the back of my mind, I kept remembering that those teachers kept saying that I would be a great teacher. When I started high school, I had wonderful teachers in all subject areas, but there's two teachers that stood out in my mind, and I still, reach out to them when I need help. Miss Joyce Butler, she was my senior English teacher. Everyone knows that has ever known me knows that I just am not good at English. I didn't enjoy English. I don't enjoy reading, but Miss Butler made it to where English was fun, and she knew that I wasn't going to be an English teacher one day, but she pulled me along and showed me things within English that I did enjoy. And some of those ideas I have moved on to use in my teaching. And she was a great influence because she always took everything with a grain of salt. There might be a student that caused a problem in the class, but she sat down and got to know why that student was acting that way. And she really meant a lot to all the students that she ever taught. And it was a sad day when she did retire. The other teacher that influenced me was Coach Mack. He was my art teacher. Until my senior year of school, I didn't take art. When I went to NC State, about their engineering program, their architecture program, they said that I needed to make a portfolio. Well, my idea of a portfolio was just gathering all my projects in the past from all my classes, putting it together. They specifically wanted an art portfolio. Well, Coach Matt came to my rescue. At that time, I was not good at drawing. I didn't think I would ever be an artist. I was just throwing together a portfolio. But he showed me what it was to be an artist, that even though you're not, Leonardo da Vinci, you're not Vincent van Gogh, you still could make art and it still would be beautiful. He also, when I was in my classes in college, he helped me develop some different lesson plans that I needed. And he's answered tons of questions that I needed help with when I was in my art class. And when I graduated, the summer before I went off to college, I really had to make a decision. Was I going to go to NC State, where I'd gotten in with almost a full ride in engineering or architecture, both programs, or go to UNC Charlotte for teaching? I really had a tough time because I was pulled in two different directions. I wanted to be a designer and an engineer, but I also, in the back of my mind, I kept playing back about how all those teachers said that I would make a great teacher. So I went with my heart and I chose teaching. So I attended UNC Charlotte. At UNC Charlotte, when I went, I had to have one art class to fulfill the requirement for the elementary ed program. And my mom was like, "Well, you should just take photography because everyone needs to know how to take a great picture." Well, I fell in love. That was the best semester I had ever experienced at UNC Charlotte. And from then on, I decided that I needed to be a double major. I took all my elementary ed classes and finished early. I would have finished in 2.5 years. but I decided that I needed to fulfill that requirement in my heart to get my art degree. And the two teachers that in the photography program were Aspen Holhalter and Ann Klutz, and they are a great influence on my art teaching. I did not take any art education classes while I was at UNC Charlotte. Everything that I teach with now is a combination of what they taught me and things that I've gathered on my own, and a combination of my elementary ed stuff. During my last semester in the art program, the last requirement to fulfill all of your classes is to take a senior seminar class. And Jamie Frankie was my professor, and he is amazing. I had to teach the class about how to write grants and the reason why we need grants. And he came to me after the presentation and said, that was a tough subject to teach, and you're an excellent teacher. You should be proud of what you're going into, and that you need to push yourself further. And that stuck in my mind that, he saw something in me that I did not. Before graduation, I student taught fourth grade with the amazing supporting teacher, LaSalle Owen. She taught me everything that I needed to know, how to start a classroom, how to get everything together, and really how to, contact parents and how to handle those tough situations. Even today, I think to myself, when I have a tough situation, how would she handle this? So she prepared me for what I had to face right after that. I took a fourth grade position midway through the year. And I took a tough class at an inner city school, and the vice principal there has become a great mentor in my life. I still contact him when I need help. And he sat me down one day and said, "Miss Osteen, your classroom is a disaster. I know you're doing a great job teaching. The kids love you, but let's hone everything in." And from that point on, I knew that he had my success and my students' success, in his mind. And he wanted to mold me and shape me into a great teacher. And now he's working with me to become a great administrator. He helps answer those questions that I'm a little afraid to ask the administrators at the school I work at. And he told me that from the very beginning, he thought that I would be a great administrator. That year, the job cuts hit North Carolina very hard. And I had to go outside of Stanly County to get a position. I took an art job. That was a culture shock. I had no prior experience, but I instantly fell in love. The principal there at the elementary school in Waxhaw knew my love of art and my love of teaching. So she said that would eventually become an easy transition. It was a great learning curve, but I quickly got into the groove of things. And I learned a lot that year about alternative classrooms. The elementary school in Waxhaw was the central location for building bridges, which was the behavioral classrooms for Union County. That year, when school let out, I took a trip to Hawaii to teach art. And while at the summer camp, I got a phone call from a principal at the alternative school in Stanly County, and he said, "Miss Osteen, I'm in dire need of an art teacher. My art teacher walked out on me. School starts in 3 weeks. Can you help me out?" And I said, "Of course." I had no prior high school experience. I had no idea what I was getting myself into, but Mr. Campbell knew. He knew in his heart that I would help fulfill that void that they had in their faculty. Mr. Campbell worked with me for the next 2 years, took the time, guided me, mentored me, patiently helped me in my times of need. I worked closely with him and slowly became more confident in my teaching and in my leadership skills. He helped me hone in my student behaviors and really raise the bar in my expectations. Mr. Campbell slowly pushed me more and more and more, and he eventually talked me into going to grad school for school administration. He helped me take small steps at a time to see really what the job of an administrator is. He showed the staff with utmost respect. It didn't matter if it was a veteran teacher, a new teacher, the exterminators that come to the school, anybody that walked through those doors, he treated with utmost respect. He helped me fill out my applications to grad school. He helped me, just gain the confidence that I needed. Sadly, he retired, and it was a beginning of an end. He left us, but he still kept contact. He left us in great hands. Our new principal, she was a new teacher, a new principal. She had been a high school teacher before and then went to county office. And comparing and contrasting, no two teachers are the same. No two administrators are the same. I have learned so much from every administrator that I have worked with. And the students also have taught me a lot. They taught me that no two students are the same. They shouldn't be treated the same. They should be treated equally. So I look forward to hearing from everyone. I wish everyone a great semester and have a wonderful evening.